All right. Hi, everybody. Doug Bench here with you. That's Doug the Brain Guy. And we're about ready to start a couple house cleaning chores before we get going here. If you go to the bottom of your screen with your cursor, if you've never been on Zoom before, you can see down there a link for your audio and video. If you could mute both of those right now so that it doesn't disrupt the video slides that we're going to share with you. And also at the bottom there in the center is a link that says chat. You can click on that and then the chat window will open up and you can put your cursor on that and move it over to the side so it doesn't block anything that we're looking at during the webinar tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about your risk for dementia. What is your brain's age? Don't let your brain die before you do. With me, that's Doug, the brain guy. And I'll point out to you our website, brainschoolforseniors.com, is not quite up yet. Should be ready in about 7 to 10 days to go online with some more information for you. And we'll be happy to share all that information with you that we can. Okay. All right. Let's get going. I'm going to block out my video so that you're not distracted by my handsome face. I know that would just be awful for everybody here. All right. We're going to talk about your risk of dementia, your brain's true age. We'll tell you a little bit about me as well. Uh, Most people don't lose their brain all at once. It happens slowly over time, and you never see it coming. Uh, I was teaching a class of contractors not too long ago, and we had somebody in the class that was 77 years of age, I believe he was, and he said, "My brain's fine. There's nothing wrong with my brain." Well, that may be, and I hope he was absolutely correct in that. The trouble is, you don't notice it. You need to learn, study what can happen to your brain so that it won't happen to you, or at least you can reduce your risk of that happening greatly. And tonight, you'll find out exactly where you stand. All right, your personal dementia risk score. What's your risk of getting dementia based on, we've got 16 proven brain health factor questions for you. And by the way, you're going to need paper and pencil to take down your score for each one of these two quizzes that we're going to do. We're going to talk about your risk for dementia. Then we're going to take another quiz to determine your brain's true biological age. Are you aware that your body and your brain age at different rates? And that can be frightening if your brain is aging faster than your body. That's not cool. And we're also, of course, going to talk about what you can do about it for sure. That's, but let me tell you a little bit about me, Doug the Brain Guy. We've been in the business of helping seniors keep their brains smarter, sharper, healthy, and engaged for, gosh, 24, 25 years now. And we'll tell you why in a second, too. But whatever you do, don't let your brain die before you do. I've been an educator for, gosh, probably 60 years. I was a lawyer for 25 years, practiced law in the state of Ohio, and I was also a judge in Ohio for 6 years. And then been studying brain research for at least 24, 25 years now. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. But we've discovered 16 of the greatest brain research cutting edge breakthroughs. And we've built a system you can use to greatly reduce your risk of dementia and improve the performance of your brain. And we're going to tell you why that is too. Now, there's a picture of my family in the year 1958. I'm the little short guy on the left-hand side there. I was 13 years old in this picture. My father's there. My father played pro football for Cleveland. Then he became a pastor, got the calling from the Lord. And there's my sister and brother. My sister has passed away several years ago from cancer. My brother is age 85 now. I'll tell you a smidgen more about him in a little bit. And then there's my beautiful mother. My mother was a member of Mensa. Mensa was an organization for people with high level IQs. And she was phenomenal. My father, unfortunately, was killed in a car accident when I was just 13, along with two other pastors, I might mention. And my mother had to raise us all from there on out. And she was a brilliant lady. But you know what happened to my mother? She contracted Alzheimer's. And slowly it took her life over about a 5.5 year period that was horrible to go through. If any of you have Alzheimer's or dementia in your family, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But what happened to me when my mom passed away, it scared the crap out of me because I'm no genius, unfortunately. Apparently, it skips a generation. So I wanted to find out what the heck I could do to reduce my risk of that happening to me. I was scared. And the first thing I did is I went looking for some books to help me learn about the brain. The one on the right, The Owner's Manual for the Brain, is the first book I ever bought about the brain, Dr. Pierce Howard. I bought that book because it was the thickest one I could find anywhere. And that led me to read brain research studies by the hundreds, other books. The second book on the left-hand side, called The New Brain, just blew me away and led me to study the human brain day after month, year after year, over 20 some years now. I've read probably 170,000 pages of brain research reports, studies, and books. And Dr. Restig said something in his book. He's an MD. He's also a neuroscientist. And in his book called The New Brain, he made this quote, and I've got it there in the bottom of the page. If you learn about and apply strategies based on the new brain research discoveries, you can expect a lifetime of greater achievements. I'm getting goosebumps again. I get it every time I read that sentence from his book. And that led me to study and study and study. And you know what happened? My brain started working better. I wasn't so much trying to make my brain work better. I just wanted to stay away from dementia and Alzheimer's. I couldn't even spell Alzheimer's. Really, still can't. But that led me to write my own books based on the 100+ thousand pages of research and notes that I had. The first book I wrote was called Revolutionize Your Brain, Kiss Your Old Brain Goodbye, picking out the 16 greatest cutting edge revolutionary brain science techniques. And then the second book I wrote, which became the bestseller for me, I'm very proud to say, Do It Yourself Brain Surgery, 101 revolutionary brain research based secrets that you can implant in your brain right now to skyrocket your achievements, just like Dr. Rustic said. So let's see where you stand. Let's see where you stand. All right, have paper in front of you with a pencil. Number 1 through 16, the first quiz we're going to take is, what is your risk for dementia? 16 questions. Each will be either a 0 points, a 1, or a 2, or a 3. And you write your score for each one down. And like it says, don't worry about your score yet. We'll reveal what it means at the end. And also, it's very important. This isn't for me. This is for you. So please be honest in your answers. Okay? All right, here we go. Everybody got your paper and pencil ready? We'll do this quiz, and then we'll do the second quiz, and then we're going to evaluate it with you. All right, here we go. Question number 1. How old are you? Your age is probably one of the biggest single risk factors for dementia. The older we get, the more important it becomes to protect our brain, doesn't it? Be honest here. This isn't about feeling old or feeling young. It's about knowing your starting point. So write down, if you're under 55, 0 points. And of course, if you're over 75, 3 points. All right, here we go. Question number 2 coming up. often do you exercise each week? Now, this is intentional physical exercise. This isn't exercise you might get as a part of your job if you are a contractor, for example. But physical exercise is one of the most powerful brain protective tools you can possibly have. It increases blood flow to the brain and helps grow new brain cells in a process called neuroplasticity. Man, if you study with me and learn about the brain, we're going to talk a lot about neuroplasticity, sometimes called brain plasticity too. So count intentional movement, walking, swimming, the gym, yard work, all of that counts, but it has to be intentional. Okay? Score your points there. All right, here we go. Number three, how would you rate your diet? What do you eat on a regular basis? What you eat, of course, directly feeds or starves your brain, doesn't it? A diet rich in whole foods, vegetables, and healthy fats, healthy fats dramatically lowers your dementia risk compared to, of course, a processed food or fast food diet. Fast food's dirty words, isn't it? But be honest now. Be honest. Do you almost always eat whole foods and healthy foods? How about a little bit of a mixture of between whole foods and healthy foods, and rarely junk food, but how about frequently junk food? That would be 2 points. And you think your diet's poor overall? Give yourself 3 points on that one. Let's go to number four. How many hours of sleep do you get every night? If you get 7 to 8 hours, that's 0 points. But during sleep, your brain literally flushes out toxins and toxic waste products. So you've got to give your brain time to do that. You don't want your brain full of toxins. So 0 points for 7 to 8 hours. If you get under 5 hours of restful sleep, 3 points. And in between. Number five, how often do you experience memory issues? Uh-oh. I gave out a questionnaire to about 900 of our contractor students, and one of the most worrisome, concerning things they listed was fear of losing their memory. Occasional forgetfulness is normal. We all have that, but frequent or worsening memory lapses are early warning signs that you got to pay attention to. Now, be honest. This is the whole point of this quiz, is to be honest, okay? All right, here we go on to number six. How often do you challenge your mind? This is intentionally, you challenge your mind to learn something new, do something different than you've ever done it before. Do you do daily learning? The brain, it follows a use it or lose it principle. You've heard that about muscles, but it's also true about the brain. Regular mental challenge build what researchers call cognitive reserve. Oh man, in my courses, we teach you all about how to build up a cognitive reserve through brain plasticity. And that's a buffer zone for your brain against decline. Reading, learning new skills, brushing your teeth with the wrong hand, doing puzzles, or even, I've got a book on my nightstand right now about Greek mythology. Yuck. I don't give a flip about Greek mythology. But you know what? I want to challenge my brain, my mind. So I'm looking at that book. All right, give yourself your points there. Daily, you challenge your brain. Once or several times a week, 1 point. Occasionally, 2 points. Rarely, if ever, 3 points. Here comes an important question. Well, they're all important, but this is especially important. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I'm 81 years young myself. Yep. We've got two dogs that live with us, and they're both 11 years old. So what's that make them? 77? just about my age on. But how often do you socialize with others? Intentionally socialize with others. Church groups, singing groups, or clubs, or card clubs, whatever it is, socially. You guys, loneliness and social isolation are now recognized by the scientists as major dementia risk factors, as significant as smoking or obesity. Meaningful interaction with other people keeps your brain actively engaged and emotionally healthy. Vitally important. So if you do it daily, 0 points. You do it once a week, 1 point. You do it once a month, 2 points. Rarely or isolated. Very, very important factor. My brother, trying not to get emotional here, is 85 years old. For 42 years, he was a chief metallurgical research engineer for a major steel company. He lives in Ohio. We live in Florida and North Carolina now. And every Sunday I call my brother and hold my breath because I never know if he's going to remember who I am. And you know what? He was a he was a 5 pointer. He rarely, if ever, interacted socially. Not good. All right, let's go to number 8. Oh, how much alcohol do you consume? Lighter, moderate alcohol is a natural or mildly protective effect for some people, but frequent or heavy drinking is directly toxic to the brain. You know that. Be honest about what moderate looks like to you now. None are very light. I would consider none are very light, maybe no drinks in a month, or maybe 3 or 4 drinks in a month, maybe one a week. Moderate would be 1 to 2 drinks a week, I think. Frequent would be 3 or 4 drinks per week, and then heavy daily use would be your 3 pointer. All right. Number 9. Oh, what's your smoking history? 0 points if you've never smoked. 1 point if you quit years ago. That's me. July 7th, 1985. I was a heavy smoker for about 12 years, but I quit in 1985. It's amazing how your memory works for some things that were emotionally important to you, isn't it? I could tell you exactly what I was doing that day. Are you an occasional smoker or are you a regular smoker? Do you smoke every day? Number 10, would you describe your stress levels? Now, this is a tough one to be honest with. Be honest with us here. Chronic stress floods your brain with cortisol, which over time damages the hippocampus, which is the memory center, short-term memory center of your brain. It's vitally important for memory. And we're not talking about occasional stress. We're talking about stress feels constant and unmanaged. So if you're low or well managed, 0 points. Moderate, 1 point. High levels of stress, 2 points. Constant high stress, 3 points. Hopefully your job, if you're employed or you work for yourself, your stress levels are not so terrible. Let's go to number 11. What's your blood pressure status? Now, this has changed over the years, from the research I've read. 20, 30, 40 years ago, they said 130 over 90, even closer to 135 over 90 was normal. Now, of course, the pharmaceutical companies say, oh, no, 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 no. 180, I mean, 120 over 80 is more than normal. That way they can sell their blood pressure meds to the rest of us. But if your blood pressure is normally under control, around the 120 to 130 range, over 80 to 85 range, is your blood pressure sometimes high and it's controlled with meds on a regular basis? Is your blood pressure high but not treated at all? And would you consider your blood pressure very high? Probably 140 over 100. That would be very high. Mark down your points. And again, I'll emphasize, be honest with yourself. I'm not even going to find out what your score is. It's not important to me. It's important to you and your brain. Number 12, what about blood sugar? We talked about high blood pressure. Now let's talk about high blood sugar. Diabetes status. I'm type 2 diabetic because I abused sugar when I was younger. So if you're normal, regular blood sugar is normal, 0 points. Pre-diabetic, 1 point. That means you're prone to abuse sugar. Controlled diabetes with medication. I take metformin on a regular basis. Don't like to, but I need to. Or it's poorly controlled, 3 points. Brain is the most sugar dependent organ in the body. And so if you have poor blood sugar regulation, even pre-diabetic, significantly increases dementia risk. And even some researchers that I've read over the last 15, 20 years now refer to Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. So you know your blood sugar and diabetes is vitally important to reduce your risk of dementia. All right, here's one that's number 13 coming up is a question a lot of you probably were not aware of this. Number 13, do you have hearing loss? Yeah, this one surprises a lot of people. Untreated hearing loss is now considered one of the biggest, that's with all capital letters, one of the biggest risk factors for dementia. But it's modifiable. We're going to talk more about that. When the brain stops receiving sound input, it begins to shrink in the areas responsible for processing sound. And if your brain has to work harder to hear, to interpret the impulses that are hearing impulses, that greatly increases your risk of dementia. So be honest here. You got no hearing loss, you've got mild hearing loss, that's me. Moderate, 2 points, severe, 3 points. If you're constantly asking people to repeat themselves, or worse yet, you don't ask them to repeat yourselves, you just let it go. That's going to cause your brain to work overtime to try to interpret what was being said. Not good, not good at all. Number 14. Uh-oh, how would you rate your body's weight? Excess body weight, especially around the belly, is is linked to high levels of inflammation that affects the brain. And we're not talking about appearance. We're talking about metabolic stress that extra weight places on every organ in your body, including your brain. So be honest. Are you a healthy weight? Are you slightly overweight? Are you overweight, period? Or are you obese? Be honest with yourself. Number 15. Is there a family history of dementia? Now, you know, a lot of people say genetics is the main reason for Alzheimer's or dementia. Well, no, it does play a role, but it's not your destiny. Lifestyle factors can override genetic predisposition. I can't talk. Predisposition most of the time. Knowing your family history really just simply tells you how proactive you're going to have to be to reduce your risk of dementia. All right, here comes our last question. It's one you probably wouldn't think would be included in a quiz on your dementia risk. How much coffee do you drink every day? Now listen, this can work in your favor. Recent, very recent, in the last 3 months, I've read the new research that shows that 1 or 2 cups of coffee per day can, can greatly decrease your risk of dementia. But however, you know, the other way, Too much coffee disrupts your sleep, and sleep is a vitally important factor in dementia. I cannot drink coffee, I cannot drink Coke or Pepsi after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or it will definitely disrupt my sleep. So I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning. That's ideal. All right. Now here's what you do. Total up your score. Write it down. Maximum possible score, I guess that's the worst possible score, is 48. And don't judge your numbers yet. We'll reveal what it means a little bit later after the second quiz. So total up your score. And then we're going to go on to the second quiz. What's your brain's true age? All right, we got 12 questions here. Hopefully everybody's got their score totaled up from the first 16 questions. Hopefully you didn't need a calculator. If you needed a calculator, you may be beyond help. I'm not sure. Total it up. All right, now let's take a look at your brain's true age. I think I mentioned it before. Your body, my body was born on March 30th, 1945, and my brain was born on that day, but they do not age at the same rate due to a whole lot of factors. I'm 81 now. I was 81 last month in March. In fact, 1 month ago today, March 30th. And I went out to San Diego, where I have a very close friend that's also in the brain improvement business. And he has a very good friend who's a very famous doctor, Dr. Daniel Amen, who is very well known, has written several books on the brain, Change Your Brain, Change Your Life, and several others. And he runs a clinic out in San Diego. And I went to that clinic, did about 2 hours of tests. And we, of course, tonight don't have time for 2 hours of tests, but we did about 2 hour tests on me to determine my brain's age. And I'll tell you, I was scared to death. This was about 6 years ago. I was 75. Well, he went through 2 hours of tests, and when he came back in, he tried to trick me. He came back in with this really sad, horrid look on his face, and he said, "Doug, we found nothing in your brain." That was a joke. And then he went through with me what his results showed. His results showed that my brain was about the level of a 33 to 35-year-old. You guys, that was because I studied the brain, came up with these 16 strategies, and without even intentionally doing so, implemented those strategies that brought me all kinds of improvement in the performance of my brain. So let's take a look at your true age. And again, you got to be honest with your scores here. This is, not a perfect test by any means with just 12 questions, but you're going to have to write down 1 through 12 again. And the scores will be 0, 2, 4, or 6 points for each of these 12 questions. All right. You got the 1 through 12 written down? Quiz number 2, here we go. Number 1. It's your memory recall. This is about your day-to-day ability to remember names and where you put things and what you were just doing or what someone just told you recently. Rate yourself honestly now compared to how you were maybe 10 years ago. You're sharp, rarely forget things. You occasionally forget things, or you frequently forget things, or you have daily memory issues. I know somebody in my house that every single day can't remember where they put their car keys. I have to say that softly because she's here at the house. I love her, though. That's number 1. Number 2, how's your ability to focus? Focus is your brain's ability to lock into one thing and stay with it, stay on target without drifting, without getting distracted or losing your train of thought. If you find yourself rereading the same paragraph or losing track of conversations, be honest with yourself here on this one as well. 0 points, strong, sustained focus. 2 points, mild distraction. Remember, this is 0, 2, 4, 6 now, not 1, 2, or 3. Are you easily distracted? 4 points. Very poor focus, 6 points. Number 2. Number 3, how easy is it to learn new things for you? A younger brain absorbs new information readily, An aging brain resists that. We resist learning new things. I can explain that to you any of my programs. I explain how the brain does that and why the brain does that, which is a good thing in one way and is a bad thing in another. We'll explain that to you in our courses if you take part in either one of our major courses. Think about the last time you tried to learn something new, a device, a computer skill, or a new process. How'd that go? Love it. Comes easily. 0 points. Took some effort. 2 points. Difficult for me. 4 points. I avoid new things. 6 points. Your brain wants you to avoid new things. I can explain that to you. Number 4, it's your mental processing speed. How quickly does your brain take in information and respond to it, whether in a conversation or while driving or reading or solving a problem? Slowing down in this area that's one of the earliest and most measurable signs of brain aging. So be honest on this one. Are you fast and sharp? A little bit slower. Noticeably slower, 4 points. I'm just very slow at mental processing. Be honest. Number 5, how's your problem solving ability? Are you a quick thinker? You think about everyday challenges, figuring out a technical problem or planning a trip or working through a disagreement with someone. Does your brain work through those fluidly? Or does it feel like you're wading through mud? Are you a quick thinker? Moderate pace? Slower than before? Or do you really struggle to solve problems? That's a tough one, isn't it? Number 6, here we go again. How's your sleep quality? 0 points, it's excellent. 2 points, it's good. I don't have any trouble falling asleep. I don't have any trouble staying asleep. Now, you can ignore the fact if you're a man and you're over 55 or 60, you got to get up to pee during the night, It's the prostate thing. Or is your sleep just fair? Do you have trouble going back to sleep? Or are you a poor, restless sleeper 3, 4, or maybe 5 nights a week? Be honest. Be honest. All right, number 7. How well do you handle stress? Are you calm and resilient most of the time, let's say 80 to 90%? Or do you have some stress? Maybe, maybe 20 to 40% of the time? Or do you have high levels of stress at least half the time? Or are you frequently overwhelmed, more than half the time? Stress, as you well know, a resilient brain bounces back from stressful situations without prolonged anxiety, but so you're rating how quickly and completely you recover from something stressful that happens in your life. We all have stressful things that happen. How well do you handle it? Be honest. Number 8, what's your energy level like? Are you high energy all day? Moderate energy, maybe you start to slow down around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh man, I'm tired most of the time. Or are you very low, exhausted? I have someone very dear to me who every time I ask, and I've quit asking, how you doing? I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. Be honest again. What's your energy level? Number 8. Number 9. How physically active are you? I'm very active, or I'm somewhat active. I do, you know. We're asking this again because it's that important. Physical activity is the single most evidence backed way to keep your brain young. Are you listening? Even a 20 to 30-minute daily walk, even if it's slow, measurably slows brain aging. Why? Because boom, it pushes up more blood to your brain, and your blood or your brain survives on that oxygen in your blood. Neurogenesis, neuroplasticity, brain plasticity is desperate for oxygen from your blood flow to your brain. So are you very active, somewhat active, and very seldom active, or just flat out sedentary all the time? Number 9. Number 10. What's your overall mood day to day? You know, I've got a good friend that I couldn't tell you in the last 20 years when I've said, how you doing? Where I've heard anything but a positive response. Are you positive and stable all day long with your mood? 0 points. You're up and down. That's okay. 2 points. You're often negative. 4 points. You're consistently depressed or low with your mood. Which is it? One of the 16 techniques and strategies that we teach in our flagship program is called Learning to Stomp the Ants. Dr. Amen in San Diego is one of the scientists who discovered that your brain, 80% of the time, sends you negative thoughts. And we teach you how to stomp those ants, ANTS, automatic negative thoughts, which you can do by being positive all day. It ain't easy, but you can do it. Number 10. Number 11. Compare your sharpness today to how you were 10 years ago. Oh boy, this is a tough one to be honest with. Think it through. Are you the same or sharper? Give yourself 0 points and a pat on the back. Slight decline, 2 points. Moderately not as good, 4 points. Major noticeable decline, 6 points. This is a big picture question, isn't it? Set aside individual symptoms and just ask yourself honestly, is my mind as sharp as it used to be? Most people, you probably know the answer intuitively before they even finish reading the question, but be honest. Compare yourself to 10 years ago. And then we're going to think ahead 10 years as well. Excuse me. All right. Last question, number 12. How's your ability to multitask? You're a good, strong multitasker. I'm okay with some effort, or I struggle, or I cannot multitask at all. The ability to hold multiple things in mind at once, or a conversation, whoever that is, could you please mute your audio? Thank you. If you have a conversation while you're cooking, can you do that? That's 2 things at once. That's multitasking. Uh, can you manage several tasks at work all at the same time? This is one of the first cognitive abilities that starts to decline with brain aging. Rate yourself honestly here, okay? All right, there's your 12 questions to help you determine your brain's age. Add up your score on your brain age quiz. And as soon as you add up that score and you've got two scores circled there, we're going to go take a look and see what your scores really mean. All right, everybody got it added up? All right. Now it's going to get really real. When we were on the dementia score, there's going to be four areas depending on what your score was. You're at low risk for dementia, mild risk, moderate risk, or high risk. Hope you're not colorblind. Low risk is green. Mild risk is kind of yellow. Moderate, kind of orange. And high risk is red. All right, let's take a look. Here you go. If you had 0 to 15 points, you're at low risk. You're doing a lot of things right. You're going to build a solid brain, proactive habits. Even so, don't coast. I've got a brain booster starter workshop that will lock in and help you accelerate those gains. If your point total on the dementia quiz was 16 to 30, you're at mild risk. Some warning signs are present. You're not in crisis, but your brain is vulnerable. Small targeted changes made now pay big dividends. I've got a program that's just 27 bucks called the Brain Booster Starter Pack Workshop. It's a perfect first step. 31 to 45 points. Uh-oh. We're getting into moderate risk. Your brain is under pressure. Warning signs are stacking up. You're at a fork in the road. You should probably start with a $27 workshop or go all in if you're ready to for my complete Revolutionize Your Brain program for the full transformation. I'll tell you a little bit more about that program in a little bit. But if you are 46 or 48 points, you need urgent action now. You're at high risk for dementia. Hopefully, none of you are in that category. I watched my mother deteriorate in the slowest, most horrible process over a 5.5 year period. But the good news is your brain can improve. Don't wait. Don't wait. Get started now. No matter what your score was, your brain can improve. Neuroplasticity has proven it. Let me give you the definition of neuroplasticity. This blows me away every time I say it. Listen to this. If you stimulate your brain, no matter what your age, your brain will form new DSP connections in your brain, increasing your brain's capacity for achievement. Let me go back through it. If you stimulate your brain, what does that mean? All that means is you learn something new. You intentionally do something different than you've done it before. Drive to work and from work a different way each time. Brush your teeth with the wrong hand. Study Greek mythology, although you don't give a flip about Greek mythology, because you're stimulating your brain. And it doesn't matter your age. That's my favorite part, being 81. 6-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 106-year-olds, it doesn't matter. When you stimulate your brain, it will form new connections. So what will you do about your score? Knowing that you can change and your brain can improve. If you're in the green zone, you're doing a lot right. You've built solid brain protective habits. But here's the truth. Even people in great shape can slowly drift into decline. Don't coast. Keep building. Our Brain Booster Starter Pack will lock in and accelerate your gains in your brain's performance. If you were in the orange, some warning signs present, or that's yellow, I guess. I'm colorblind. You're not in crisis, but you're leaving your brain vulnerable. Small targeted changes made now will pay enormous dividends. This is a perfect time to act. Start with the Brain Booster Starter Pack, 27 bucks. My wife and I went out to breakfast this morning. We spent twice that much on breakfast, and that's not improving the brain. Our starter pack sure can. All right, if you were in the going on red, warning signs are stacking up. This is where people either turn things around or don't. You are at a fork in the road. You're on the fence. Which path you choose matters. You really need to take action now with us or some way else. You've got to get started. Start with a $27 workshop. Or if you're ready to go all in, go with my complete Revolutionize Your Brain program. And by the way, I haven't mentioned it yet, but if you start with our $27 workshop and then want to go to the complete system, you get that $27 credit towards the investment in your brain. And if you are in the deep red, man, this score really concerns me. It's what I saw in my mother, what I'm seeing in my brother. Let me get real with you. You're on a path that just will not end well unless you change it. You will suffer, and probably, to be honest with you, more importantly, your family and loved ones are going to suffer. The research is clear. Your brain can improve. Don't wait. Get involved now, either with me and my program that I've been working on for over 20 years. And it's helped thousands of people to this point. It can help you as well. All right. About your brain age score. Well, if you scored on the brain age 0 to 12, your brain age is 20 to 35. That's where I was. I was jumping up and down. I was so excited about that, but you can't let up. No. Yes, your brain's sharp and high functioning, especially if you're 81 like me, but you cannot let up. If you were 13 to 24, your brain age is 35 to 50. That's in good shape, but room to get better. If you scored 25 to 36 points, your brain's age is 50 to 65. I suppose that's probably where a lot of you are, physically, your body and your brain. But there's warning signs, so you can't let up, you guys. You just can't let up on this. You need support. And if you scored 37 to 48 points, your brain age is 65 to 80. Now, if you're 90 years old, that ain't a bad thing, is it? But some decline is happening if you're anywhere from 50 to 65. Act now. And if you scored 49 to 72, your brain is over 80 years of age. You need urgent action now. Now. All right. Keep in mind, you guys, no matter what your score was on either one of those quizzes, your brain can improve. Neuroplasticity is real. It does not matter what your age is. It is real. It's been confirmed in every piece of research I've read. It's possible. And you've got more control than you think. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Don't you dare let your brain die before you do. Most people, unfortunately, don't do anything. That's why nothing changes, you know. If you're smart, you start here. Now you know something most people never even find out, where your brain really stands, and you got a choice right now. I've got a brain booster starter workshop that's a video that's about an hour and 10 minutes long. An hour and 10 minutes, you guys. And I give you 4 of the most powerful of the 16 brain strategies, handpicked by me after 100 and some thousand pages of brain research. And it's so simple once you learn it. you can apply it. And they are such simple steps to take. There's no overwhelm. Just take immediate action, you'll get immediate results. And it's built on all the breakthroughs that I talked to you about. There at the bottom of the page is the order link. I don't think you can click on that link. You have to copy it. www.tiny.cc/order brain power. 27 bucks for peace of mind and a piece of better mind. But if you want to go all in, if you're really frightened about where your brain is at, my full flagship program called Revolutionize Your Brain, it's 10 modules, you guys. 10 modules, 9 modules that include the 16 breakthrough brain strategies, deep dives into all of them. Each of those modules, I promise you, is less than 1 hour. And you get them all on video. You can do it at your own pace, one a day, one a week, one a month, one a year, whatever you decide to do, you get them forever. And it gives you a step-by-step process to rebuild your brain. Long-term protection against cognitive decline. And that's for those who scored high on these quizzes, or those that are ready for a full transformation and reduction. Dr. Amen has told me that with our program, you can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 2/3. Isn't that worth that kind of peace of mind? And the 10th module is all about simple daily things you can do. About 15 or 16 things you can do on a daily basis, simple things to reduce your risk of dementia, proper foods, proper things to do each day. And I guarantee the whole program. If you go through all 10 modules and you don't think it helped you improve the performance of your brain, you let me know, you'll get your money back. It's too important, you guys. It's just too doggone important. Your brain is the most important tool you have. I teach contractors continuing education, and contractors spend thousands of dollars on tools, but very few spend any money on the most important tool they have for safety, for income, for quality, for productivity, for performance levels. It's your brain. So step one, the Brain Booster Starter Pack, go all in with the Revolutionize Your Brain program. And I want to tell you one other thing before we go to the next slide with the links on it. I have my own lawyer. I was a lawyer for a long time and a judge, but I have my own lawyer who told me, Doug, you've got to copyright this material. Otherwise, people can copy it. You guys, I told him no. It's okay with me if you share this with anybody you care about, anybody you love. Let them borrow the links that you would get for each of the modules. It's okay with me. Anybody that you care about. I want you to help them. I would presume that some of you probably have somebody in your life right now, family or friends that are suffering through dementia or Alzheimer's. And if that's you, then you know how horrid it is and what a slow, agonizing, depressing death that is. Don't do nothing. Do something. Get started now. Here come the links. Oops. I forgot I threw my picture in there again. Don't let your brain die before you do. In about 2 weeks, I suppose, Brain School for Seniors will be up with some more information, but I'll tell you this, why this slide is here. If you go all in tonight and get our flagship program called Revolutionize Your Brain, you're going to get 3 phenomenal bonuses. Let me tell you real quickly what those are. Bonus number 1, I give you a 2-hour module program called Don't You Dare Diet. It's how to get at, get to and maintain your healthiest body's weight without ever dieting, all based on making changes in your brain. And this came from my information about the brain combined with a contractor who weighed 325 pounds, who we got together. And over a 2 year period, he lost over 125 pounds. He went from 320 down to 195 over a 2 year period, and he never dieted. What did he do? He did the one thing that there's no diet out there, all these fad diets, none of them include the module change your thinking, change your brain. This bonus program tells you how to do that, and you won't even need to diet. Number two, how to coach an undefeated team, no matter what the final score. I call it science on the sidelines. Whether you're working with your children, your grandchildren, whether you coach a little league team or a travel team, or probably most important, your employees, if you have employees, how to coach them to be an undefeated team based on brain science discoveries. And it works. We've seen it work time and time again. Years ago, I was a high school track and football coach, and the last year before I went to law school, our football team was undefeated, and the track team won 47 events and lost none, and were the state champions, all based on brain science. You'll get that as a bonus for free also. And then the third bonus, bankroll your brain power. How to train your brain to come up with money-making ideas. And if you come up with money-making ideas, I promise you, I will help you take those ideas to market. I've done it over a dozen times, and I'll be more than happy to help you. You get all three of those bonuses if you get our full flagship program tonight. So what are you going to do about it? Step one, the starter workshop, $27. Go all in with the Revolution is Your Brain program. Here are the links. And again, you need to copy and, well, I guess you just have to copy that down on your paper and then go to those links. I was going to say copy and paste, but I don't know that if you can copy and paste from what's shown on a webinar. But if you've got questions, give me a holler. Doug, the brain guy at Gmail. That's the special email address I'm going to use for everybody that's on our webinars. Doug, the brain guy bench. My goal was to get you through this and change your brain within 1 hour. And we got 2 minutes to spare. I loved having all of you here. I appreciate you very much. Don't do nothing. I know that's bad grammar. That's exactly why I said it. Do something to help your brain. It's a little investment. You got nothing to lose. I guarantee both programs for you. I love you all. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.